Yeah, good evening all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether my screen is visible or not, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Fine,
Sir,
thank
you
you.
are audible. Any screen is also visible.
Fine,
Yes, can
thank
proceed.
Yeah, thank you. So today just I'm going to discuss like the basics of Python, like what is Python software foundation, the Python versions, Python installation, Python execution modes, right? Yes. So before we go, like what is like Python software foundation? Please be in mute. Everyone, please try to be in mute. Python Software Foundation, PSF. We say like PSF, right? So it is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It's a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year, it was launched in the year 2001, right? Almost like 20 years back, it was launched. And the main objective of this is to foster the development of Python. So to version, right? Foster the development of Python. So in the year 2004, right? PSF, Python Software Foundation, received Computer World Horizon Award. For the cutting edge technology, right? And the president for this, the president is nothing but the personality who developed Python. The personality who developed Python is none other than like Guido van Rossum is the personality who introduced Python, who developed Python. The same person is the president for this PSF, Guido van Rossum. The headquarters situated in US, headquarters, Delaware, United States, right? US, United States, right? Okay. Official website of this Python, official website of PSF. Nothing like www.python.org. Python.org. This is the official website of Python from where we are going to download Python from here, and we are going to install it. We are going to download and install the Python from here, right? Official website. Okay. Next, like Python versions. Before we go with the install, like Python versions, right? Python versions. But like Python 1.x, Python 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, nothing. So the first 1990, it was released in the year 1990, right? Python 2 version, Python 2.x. The first 2 version was released in the year 2000, right? Yes. Python 3 version, Python 3.x. The version that we are using currently is 3 version, right? 3.3 version. It's released in the year 2008, right? Almost like 13 years ago, it was released. Python 3 version. Latest version of Python, right? Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python, like Python 3.10, right? Python 3.10 is the latest version that we are going to use. Stable version of Python, stable version of Python, right? Okay, like Python 3.7, right? Python 3.7, nothing but mostly used version, 3.7, right? What do you mean by stable version? Like mostly used version. Previous stable version, previous, that is previously mostly used version, previous stable version is. So Python 2.7 is mostly used. Python 2.7. In some cases, we will be using with 2.7. Like for example, if you're working with databases, right? If you're working with like database like Oracle 10G, right? Oracle 10G, it supports 2.7. It won't support 3 version. So from 11 onwards, Oracle 11 onwards, we are supporting like Python 3 version. Okay, fine. So what is that? Latest version of Python is 3.10, right? Version to version, we'll see some features gets included, right? Yes. Now Python installation. Okay. Python installation, right? So now I'll show you like step by step how to download and how to install Python, right? How to download and how to install this Python. So before I start, right, just go to the settings, apps, check where your Python is available, right? Multiple versions of Python also can be installed, right? 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, multiple versions can be installed, right? Here you can see the Python here, right? Python 3.10.1, right? Just uninstall it. So again, I'll reinstall this. Uninstallation in progress, right? So Python provides different softwares. Python provides different softwares for different environments. For Windows, separate software. For Linux and for Mac OS. For Linux, anyhow, by default, the Python comes as an inbuilt for along with the Linux OS, right? No need of any installation. But if you want the latest version to be installed by writing some command, we can just execute, right? In the case of Windows, again in Windows, two softwares it provides. For 32-bit Windows, Python provides separate software. For 64-bit, Python provides separate software, right? Okay, how will you check whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit, right? So for that, just let the installation go. So minimize and just go to your desktop, right? Just right click your PC or my computer, right? Right click your PC and go to the properties. Here you can see, right? Here you can see system type. Can you check here? System type 64-bit operating system, right? 64-bit operating system. So if it is 64-bit OS, right, you need to support, you're supposed to select like 64-bit Python software. If it is 32-bit, select 32-bit Python software, right? So if you're working with like Windows 7 or Windows 8, if you've got 32-bit, you are supposed to select the 32-bit Python software, right? Now I'll show you how to download and how to install this Python, right? So I think in an installation was successful. Close it. Now just open Chrome. Just open Chrome and just what is the official website of Python? www.python.org, right? Official website of Python, python.org, right? Official website of Python. Python.org, right? Yes, enter. So here you can see this PSF, right? Here PSF, Python Software Foundation, Python Software Foundation, right? It's a PSF. Python is an organization devoted to an advancing open source technology related to Python programming, right? So the membership, sponsorship, volunteer, everything you can check it here, right? And also like if you want to see the documentations, Python documentation, right? You can just click here, documentation, clear documentation is available, right? You can just check this docs, Python docs for the latest version, Python docs, right? It clearly explains you Python 10.2 documentation. So you can see what's new in Python 3.10, right? So what is that summary highlights? What are the new features you see, right? In this new features. So better error messages, what are the new things included? What are the new models you got? Everything with examples it is going to display, right? Yes. These are all the things you can just go through. What are the things? Features related to type hints, right? And if anything, any deprecated or anything got removed, yes, new modules, like improved modules, right? Everything you can check within this documentation, right? About this the new latest version, right? If anything, right? These are all that improved libraries, modules which got version to version, many models will be introduced. Some models will be deprecated or some models gets removed, right? Yes, deprecated. The models which are removed, everything you can just go through this documentation. Even if you are updated with the Python in the coming days, you can just keep a track with this documentation, right? What are the new things and what are the things which got removed, those things, right? Yes. Go to this downloads, right? Just go to this downloads, all releases. Just go to the downloads, all releases, right? And click this downloads, all releases. Okay. Within this downloads and all releases, right? If we can just scroll down, right? Scroll down. It says active Python releases. Not that you can just scroll down, looking for a specific release, right? Looking for a specific release. Yes, looking for a specific release. Yes. See this Python 3.10.2, right? It was released on January 14th, just 1 week back. Just 6 days back, it was released, right? What is it? 3.10.2, right? Previously 10.1 on December, right? 1 month back. So you can see all the Python versions from the last 20 years. From the last 20 years, what are all the Python versions, right? Everything you can check it here, right? You can scroll down all these Python versions from the last 20 years. Right? Python 2.0.1. It is a 2 version, June 22, 2001. So select a version, right? 3.10.2, that is the latest Python release, right? Just click it. Just click the 3.10.2, right? Just and scroll down, right? If you can scroll down, you will see the files here. You can see the files, right? Files. Windows installer 32-bit or 64-bit, whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit Windows. If it is 64-bit, right, just can click this 64-bit. Just click this, your download started, right? Download just 26.9 MB, right? 26 MB of size. See, Python supporting like 89,300 modules, but all the modules you are not going to see along with this Python software. Only commonly used modules you are going to see along with this Python software, right? Okay. So remaining the external modules means the modules which are not part of Python software, like data science related modules, database related modules, and this all the other modules are not part of Python software. We are supposed to download them and install them by using a component called pip, right? Later I will demonstrate, right, how to download and how to install step by step the external modules which are not part of Python software, right? Yes. So my download is completed. Yes, it is finished. You can just go to the downloads folder and click it. Otherwise, you can just click this exe file, right? You are going to get a window in this manner, right? You get a window in this manner, right? Okay. Okay. Add Python. Okay. Add Python 3.10. See here at the bottom, you can see, right? Add Python 3.10 to path. Add Python 3.10 to path, right? Just check this. Means you are adding Python 3.10 to path variable of operating system. Right? Click it. Click this, right? Check this. And go for customize installation. Go for what? Customize installation, right? So here in this, you are not able, you are not supposed everything by default, it will be selected, right? No need to select anything. Here you are going to get the documentation for this particular version. pip, just now I said, right, which will download and install any other Python packages and modules which are not part of Python software, right? Ideally integrated development environment, right, where we are going to write the Python code, Python test it. So nothing to select here, just to say next here. So advanced option, nothing to select here also, but see this installation location, right? By default, where it is getting installed within the C drive, users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python 3.10, right? Somewhere it is getting installed in the some subdirectories, right? Tomorrow, if you want to find the path of Python, you need to enter into multiple subdirectories, right? So instead of that, remove all this big path, just install Python in the C drive. That's it. Remove all this, remove all this, right? From here onwards. Just remove all this, right? Just C drive / Python 3.10. 3.10 is nothing but 3.10, right? C / Python 3.10, 3.10. Fine. So C / Python 3.10, right? Yes. Just to say install, your installation starts. Just hardly it takes 1 minute to install this Python, right? Setup progress. It will just take 1 minute. Once it got installed, let us check whether it is successfully installed or not, right? Yes. So we can also install Python in Linux, Mac OS, even if you've got a smartphone, right? Within the smartphone also, you can install Python. So go to the Play Store and just say Python IDE. You will get many IDs, right? Selecting one and installing and using and working with it, right? IDs. Okay. Now, once it is finished, right, let us check whether it is successfully installed or not, right? Fine. In the case of Linux, right, in the case of Linux, by default, you get Python as a inbuilt with along with this Linux OS, right? But if you want the latest version of Linux to be installed, right, by using a command, just observe what is the command, right? apt-get install, apt-get install, right? Python, whatever the Python version, right? 3.10, right? So it will download and installs this. I just by typing this command will automatically, if you want it from the root user, you are supposed to install sudo, otherwise just keep sudo apt-get install Python 3.10, right? Yes. Okay. Just observe here, Python setup was successful. Just close it. Now, whether it is successfully installed or not, how will you check whether it is successfully installed or not, right? Yes. At the bottom, right? At the bottom search panel, that is the bottom search panel, right? Say CMD and go to the command prompt. Yes, go to the command prompt. Type Python here. It should display the Python version that we have installed, right? And Python interpreter should be open, right? Here, you can check this. Python 3.10.2 January, when it was January 17th, 2022 at so and so time it was released. So we're saying right here. Can you see this three arrowed symbol, right? This is what interactive mode, where you can type any valid Python statement. You can type any valid Python statements and interact with it statement by statement. You can interact with any Python statement, you can interact with it statement by statement, right? Okay. Observe. 3 plus 4. Yes, it's working, right? 5 into 7, right? X equal to, you can give any name, right? Ajay, right? Y equal to some value. Come on, right? X plus Y gives like Ajay. You can write any valid Python statements and you can interact with it, right? Statement by statement. This is what we call it as interactive mode, right? Yes. Yeah. So this is what installing the how to download and how to install Python. You can just go to this python.org website. It's in that downloads folder and just select the version you want. 3.10.2. Yes. Download and just normal installation on the right. Yes. Python execution modes. Python execution modes, right? Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. First is like interactive mode and batch mode. Second is like batch mode. What is interactive mode and what is batch mode, right? In other programming languages, like interactive mode is not supported. Here we directly type like Python statements. And the user can easily interact Python statement by statement. Observe. Yes. Yeah, interactive mode means here we directly type Python statements on the Python interpreter and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Batch mode. So here the advantage of interactive mode, what specific advantage we see is, right? Observe. What advantage we see from interactive mode means, for example, you don't know about any Python functionality. You can just type here in this interactive mode and you can check what response it is giving. Based on that response, you can analyze it. So to check the functionalities of Python, and to learn Python for the beginners and the learners, right? This interactive mode works better. You can just type any statement and you can check what response it gives instead of writing the entire program code, right? Batch mode, just like other programming language, Python also supports batch mode. Here we write batch of statements or set of statements, right? Set of statements within the editors or IDs, okay, and save it by using .py extension and save it by using .py extension, right? And later submit it to Python. So here we write a set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extension and later submit it to Python. So what are the various editors where we are going to write the Python code and what are the various IDs? So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code, right? Within the Notepad you can write, right? Just observe this. Within the Notepad, edit plus, within the VI editor, right? VI editor, nano editor, right? Yes. The first two are for Windows environment, Notepad, Edit Plus, and the second and third is for Linux environment, VI and Nano. Okay, I'll come back to this, but what are the various IDEs? Various IDE means integrated development environment. What are the various IDEs? In real time, we go for IDEs, right? We use IDs, right? I'm going to show you the various IDs, not one ID or two IDs, multiple IDs. I'm just going to discuss as part of this course, right? PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, and Jupyter Notebook, right? Jupyter Notebook, Atom, Atom ID, right? VS Code, VS Code, right? Yes, all this. I'm just going to show you how to download all this and how to install these things and how to run the Python code on this. You may ask why this. See, PyCharm is the mostly used one. Even as part of our course, we are going to use this PyCharm, right? Mostly used ID, right? So you may ask why these many IDs, why not one or two, right? Because I said Python is used widely in different environments. Depending upon the different environments, different IDs will be preferred. For example, for data science environment, right? Like Jupyter is mostly preferred, Spider is preferred, even for big data, Spider is mostly preferred, Jupyter is preferred. For typical web applications creations, right? PyCharm is mostly preferred, Atom, VS Code, these things are mostly preferred, right? Depending upon environment to environment, different IDs getting preferred. So I'm going to give the knowledge on all these IDs, right? So tomorrow, if you go to any environment, right, you can just work with these IDs, right? So first, I'll show you like how to write the how developing Python application using editors first. Developing Python applications, developing Python application using a editor, right? Just by using a normal notepad, how can I write a Python statement, Python file, sorry, how to generate a Python file and how to execute it, right? So developing a Python application using a editor, right? Example like Notepad. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. As of now, we didn't discuss anything about Python, right? So just we'll perform some kind of arithmetic operations, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? I'm taking two values, 10 and y as 20, right? X is 10, y is 20, right? Try to find print x plus y, x minus y, that print x minus y, print x into y and x by y, right? X into y and x by y, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? When you take like two values, I want to say just copy this to a separate notepad file, right? Yes, I'm creating a separate notepad file. Yesterday I created a separate folder for this batch, right? Python 8 p.m, right? First, write some Python code within a notepad, right? Within this way, 10 and 20, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? File, save, right? Yes. So just to go to this Python 8 p.m folder, right? Yesterday we have created it. 8 p.m folder, right? Within that, you can just say sample1.py, sample1.py, right? Save it. Now submit this file to Python. I'm writing here, save it as sample1.py. Submit to Python as, yes, submit to Python as, right. How to submit to Python? So just at the bottom you can see the search panel, just type cmd and press enter, right? Type Python here and don't say enter. If you say enter, you will go to the interactive mode, but I want to work with batch mode only. See, submit your Python file to this Python, right? Where it is available in the C drive, yes. In which folder? Like Python 8pm folder, right? And what is the file name? Sample1.py, right? Okay, just the file name, the folder name, and the drive where your file is saved, right? Yes, just to say enter, right? It should display the result. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yes, this was the result, right? So just save it in Notepad and just save it by using .py extension, any name .py extension. Come to the command prompt and specify the path where your file is available to Python, right? Understood, right, everyone? Right, this is the output. But here, what is your observation? But here we are writing the code. Here we are writing the code at one place. At one place means at Notepad, within the Notepad, and executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing the code at the other place, right? Within the command prompt, we are executing. We are executing at the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, right? Integrated Development Environment. IDLE, Integrated Development Learning Environment. We have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation. Which comes along with Python installation, right? Using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode. Using which we can work with both interactive and batch. Yes. So what is the problem you have seen here? We are writing the code in the Notepad and executing at the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode, right? How to open this IDLE? How to open this IDLE? Yes. Whenever we install Python, right? Go to the start programs. See that where this Python available, right? P. So here you can see within this P, Python 3.9 is available, 3.10 is available. 3.10 within this first one, what is the IDLE? Select it. Python shell gets opened here. Python shell gets opened. 1 second, I will copy this code. Once again, it's a file. Go to this Python 3.10. Just click this IDLE, right? Python shell gets open in this manner. So this is what 3 arrow symbol where you can work with interactive mode. Any valid Python statements you can type, right? X has 10, Y has 4. Sorry, X has 10, Y has 4. X plus Y, x minus y. In this way, you can type any value statements. You can work with interactive mode here, but I want to work with batch mode, right? Say file, new file, say file, new file, and write your Python code here. Taking two values, adding those two, subtracting, multiplication, and division. So save it, file, save. So go to the C drive, like just check it. Python 8 p.m. sample2.py, right? Okay. So here itself we can write the code. Here itself we can execute the code. Observe here. Here itself we can write the code. Here itself we can execute the code, right? Here run is there. Run module, right? You will get the output. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by. Observe once again. If I execute here itself, we can write the code. Here itself we can execute run module. If you say, you will get that addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Yes, right? Understood, everyone? How to install Python and where to write the Python code within the Notepad if you want. And ideally, where this ideally is available, writing the code and executing at the same place, right? Yes. Yes, if you say .py or if you're not saying in ideally means it's Python related, right? If you give .py or if you're not giving .py, it's by default it takes .py extension, right? Yes. Okay. So understood, right? How to write Python code within the editors and how to download these IDs like PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Anaconda distributions, right? Later, once we are done with little bit of technical content, right? I'll just discuss how to download and how to install and how to work with those, right? Yes. Next is like next, just giving this introduction to this data types, right? One second. Python data types, right? Data types. Okay. Every organization, right? Use case, every organization use case has got data and operations, has got a data and operations. Talk about any organization, it has got a data and operations. Data represented using, right? Observe this, data represented using data types or variables. Data types or variables, right? Okay. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions or methods. Functions, right? So just if you talk about any organization has got a data and operations, data by using data types or variables, operations using functions. If I talk about any organization, right? Observe this diagram once. If I take the example of any organization like a bank, right? What bank consists of? Customers and employees. It consists of what? Customers and employees. Customers has got data and operations. Data and operations. Data represented using Okay, for example, data, customer data like customer name, account number, right? Account number, balance, branch. So data represented using the data types or variables. Data types are variables, right? Yes. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations like the withdraw operation, deposit operation, transfer operation, right? They are represented using functions. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Similarly, for employees also we have got a data and operations. Data like employee ID, employee name, salary, designation, right? Designation. Employee ID, employee name, salary and designation, right? Okay, here we got operations like calculating tax, calculating net salary, right? Calculating tax, net salary, all this by using functions. This data by using data types or variables, right? Data types are variables. So any organization, right? Okay. So any organization. So observe, right? Some of you were asking yesterday, right? Yes, it's DURGASOFT online team, right? So you can just check this message, right? Posted by this online team, right? So as you are asking the payment process and procedure. Fine. Observe this. So data represented by data types and operations, right? Data types and variables, operations by using functions, and okay, fine. Data using data types, variables, operations using functions, right? Okay, observe this. Hmm. You take any programming language like C or C++ or Java or Python, right? Any programming language, they represents data. They represents data using data types or variables. On that data, performing operations on this data, performing operations using functions. They represents data using data types or variables, operations using functions, right? So if I talk about the other programming languages, C or C++ or Java, compared with Python, Python supports dynamic data types, right? Python supports what? Dynamic data types. Dynamic data types. In other programming language, if you want to define a variable like int, so a variable like x equal to 10, right? Compulsorily, we need to define this data type int x equal to 10. If you want to define like y equal to 4.5, compulsory, we need to define this data type, right? Z equal to hello, string z, right? Index float y, string z, right? But here in Python, no need to define this data type. Directly, I can say like x as 10, y as 4.5, z as hello, right? Yes. Here, what kind of variable x is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it is integer type. Based on the data type defining, you are saying it is like float type. You are saying z is of string type. But in Python, what kind of variable x is means what value you are assigning to it, what value you are assigning to it based on the value assigned. What value are based on the value assigned, the variable x is going to get created dynamically during runtime time. If you're assigning an integer variable, then integer variable gets created. If you're assigning a float value, right, float variable gets, if you're assigning a string value, string variable gets created. Means based upon what value you are assigning, based on that variable gets created. So in Python, we have got a function called type function. Type of phi. Why the type of phi is float type? Why it is float? Because you have assigned a float value. That's why the type is float. Type of x. Next is like type of x. Type of x is what type? Integer type, right? Why it is integer? Because you have assigned a integer value to it. Type of z. Type of z is what type? String type. String type, right? Because you are assigning a string value to it, right? Yes. Fine. So dynamic data types, right? Based upon what value you are assigning, based on the value assigned, the variables are going to get created dynamically, right? Yes, right. It is easy. Yes, step by step, we are going to discuss everything from the scratch, right? So everyone with zero programming knowledge also, I said you can just update with Python, right? So everything I'll be discussing from the scratch, right? Okay. Fine. So in the tomorrow session, just I'll be discussing, in tomorrow session, I'll be discussing like 4 cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, and case 4, right? To make you understand what happens internally when you are defining some variables in Python. What happens internally whenever you are defining some variables, how they are getting stored, right? So hope you understood. Today we have discussed like Python software foundation, Python versions, Python installations, Python execution modes, right? Software foundation, Python versions, Python installation, execution modes, and just introduction to this Python data types and variables type. So more discussion we'll discuss step by step in tomorrow's session. What happens if you define, right? Are you getting the recorded video? Can you please confirm whether you have got yesterday's and day before yesterday's video? Can anyone please confirm once?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and you can just check this. Yesterday, some of you were asking about this, how to enroll and what is the registration process. You can just copy that text, right? So you can just, a post was given by DURGASOFT online. Fine. And after you pair it, you need to see the, you need to forward the screenshot, the payment, that screenshot of it to this email ID. What is that? DURGASOFT. One second. This one. Thus, for you should have got a mail, right? DURGASOFT online training at the rate gmail.com, right? To this. So you can just after the payment process, right? You can just make the screenshot. You need to pass it to this Durgasoft online training, right? Just I'm pasting here. Don't forget, because tomorrow after the link getting changed, if you want to get the new link, right? Durgasoft online training at the screenshot of the payment you need to pass. So anyone who didn't get that recorded video, you didn't get any. See, you can just check the.
And how to do the online payment, sir?
Yeah, you can just see that just before you got that message, right? You can just check the message given by this online team, right? Can you see in that chart panel? Just they have given a message.
In on the email?
Not in the email, in the chart panel in this Zoom now here itself, right?
Okay, okay, got it. Got
Sir,
it.
can we submit the fee in installment?
Yes, regarding that fee, those things, right? You can just already I think they have provided the contact details also, right? You can just with online
Okay.
one second, the contact details.
So sorry, you will be sharing these notes also.
Yeah, I'll forwarding the notes, right? Once everyone got enrolled and everyone got registered, right? Daily will be getting the notes and the video, right?
Yeah, and what about these like today's notes? That also you will share?
Yeah, everything, whatever I'm typing, right? Everything I'll be forwarding you.
Okay, okay. Can you please drop this, copy paste this mail ID to chat?
Good evening, sir. My name is Tanmay. Sir, I have one query.
Query was asked, right?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Sir, once we enroll,
Yeah.
do we get any placement type of help, or it is not how it is, sir?
Yes, 1 second. So sometimes see this, there'll be some drives in this what is that Durgasoft. They'll be posting you, and they'll be posting you, right? Sometimes whatever the drives you will be seeing, right? Common to all that, not only for Python course, for all the courses, they'll be forwarding the things. If there is any drive or anything, the postings, they'll be just posting here and there, right? Now and then.
Sir, is it available for frameworks in DurgaSoft, sir?
Frameworks, yes, frameworks are available. After Python, if you want to update with framework also available, right?
Sir, cost of course, sir.
Cost of
Course.
this Python you are talking?
Yes, sir. I'm talking about frameworks. Cost about the framework courses, sir.
Framework courses around like 4K or 5K. Okay, depending upon the batches,
Okay.
right? So if there are offer batches, sometimes the offer batches will be there, right?
Okay.
So here I said this is an offer batch. Python is an offer batch. It's just for 5K, 5,000, right? So we'll be discussing a lot of concepts, 30 topics, right? As I said, the syllabus copy also you should have got, right, everyone? Fine. Yes, and one more mail, you can see this by Durgasoft online team. The screenshot to durgasoftonline@gmail.com, right? Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how can I get the video of these demo classes?
Yes.
How can I get the videos of these two demo classes?
So you can make a note of this online team, right? You can
Okay.
just I'm forwarding this, right? If anybody who didn't receive, you can just give a call to this,
Okay.
right? 1 second.
Okay.
Hello,
Okay,
sir.
Yeah,
Hello, sir.
1 second. Give me a second, right? Just I'm typing here right now. I'm providing 2 numbers, right? You can just go through that. So if anybody, if you've got any queries related in the future also, you can just take this. Okay, just I'm posting this mobile numbers in the chat panel. You can just copy it, and for the future reference, right, everyone. These are the contact details of this online team. If you're not getting the video or link or any other, right, you can just call them. Okay, videos regularly you will be getting, right. The Google Drive link will be forwarded daily. One video gets added, and notes I will be forwarding to your mails, right. You will be getting that mails. But the videos, if you got any queries related to any of that, as somebody was asking that about the installment, other things, right, you can just give call to this and you can just have a talk, right? Yes.
So one more query, sir. So while we are doing this course,
Yes.
exercise or programs will be taken topic wise, or at the end only we will be doing
No, topic wise.
projects.
No, topic wise we'll be discussing, right? Yes, that assignments and tasks I'll be providing you. So some topic wise you'll be getting that assignments and tasks.
So how many projects will be having throughout the course?
The last one project will be discussed.
Hello, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, one project will be discussed at the last, right?
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
You are covered core Python or advanced Python?
So Python, see, I'm just dividing this course into 3: Python core, Python advanced, and Python application oriented models. All these 3 is going to be covered as part of this course.
Okay, and whether you provide the certificate regarding that I done this Python class or anything else?
You'll be getting a certificate from this DURGASOFT, right? Course completion, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am from pharma background. Can I learn the Python, sir?
Yes. Daily, yes. If you're from non-programming background or non-IT background, right? Daily, whatever we are discussing, right? That you are daily, you need to complete the practicals that day itself. It looks very simple and easy understanding the sessions, right? Coming sessions, right?
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Shanki, right? Yes.
How can I get my certificate, sir?
Either you can collect the certificate going to the institute, or you can also through online also they'll be forwarding you, right?
Okay, thank you.
So the timing says it's a fixed timing, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There won't be any change in the timing. So if there is any change in the demo itself, we'll be intimating, right? Demo, the same timing, 8 p.m. IST is the timing that we will be discussing throughout the end of the course, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So to the numbers, we have to forward it whether we did the payment or not, right? Have to do that. We have to send the screenshots, right?
So this one, DURGASOFT online to this mail ID. To this mail ID, you need to forward the screenshot to this mail ID, and these numbers are given for the reference, right? If you have got any queries related to the fees or related to videos, if you're not getting, you can just contact this. But the screenshot you need to forward to this. If you're not forwarding the screenshot, you won't get any details, right? Like the link or video, all those you want. So you are supposed to forward to this for the confirmation, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So tomorrow also you people can attend the session. So we'll be seeing more on this Python, right? So if I'm done with the queries, if there are no other queries, then I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time, right? Yes, same time, and you can follow the same day. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, any query?
Sir, I have interested in machine learning course.
Yes.
This machine learning course is available in this DURGASOFT, sir?
Yes, you can just give a call, the numbers that were provided, right? Online team, you can
Okay.
just contact them, right, for that. It's
Okay,
available.
sir.
It's available.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, tomorrow will be the same link. So if the link is changed, I'll be intimating, but tomorrow we'll be going with the same link, right? For the next 2 days, like tomorrow will be the same link. For the next 2 days, the link will be same, but later it will be changed, right? Yes. Fine. So meanwhile, you can also enroll and you can just register, right? Yes. So I'm stopping here for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time. If you've got any queries, you can ask me tomorrow also, right? Fine.